Okay. They really got to go through all systems using something like Doge. This woman should not have been behind the wheel. I don't know, it looks like a bus to me, but I've heard it's a train. And then I read where later on she blamed it on the racist operating system. But yet I'm not allowed to say black people, especially black women, use racism as a crutch for everything. White people have to learn this system too. She fell asleep. So, how is that the white man's fault? She had a job. Oh, that was a good thing white people did. They let her have a job. They let her get her paychecks. That's a good thing. She was able to cash them to pay her bills, to get eyelashes installed, and whatever else she wanted. That was a good thing. But for telling her she's wrong for falling asleep while on the job, that's wrong. That's racism. How she had to learn to operate this thing she's driving, that's wrong because it should have been done easier for a black person. I'm telling you, if I owned a company, if it wasn't a black person I knew and trusted, they wouldn't get hired. They wouldn't. This is too much bullshit.
I'm sorry. Relax, relax, relax.
I'm sorry. Relax, relax, relax. Bitch, you just did something stupid and they're falling all over the place, getting hurt. But you hear her, relax, relax, relax. Bitch, you relaxed too much and fell asleep.
I'm sorry. Relax, relax, relax.
Now at 5, a first look at alarming video of a Muni train barreling through a curve at 50 miles an hour with the driver seemingly asleep at the wheel. Good evening, I'm Claudine Wong. Now this all happened in September on the Anjuta line, but this is the first time we're getting a look at the video from multiple angles. Now first, take a look at this camera. This is the driver right here, and you can see through several points in this video that she appears to be nodding off. Her head actually drops down several times. This is 8:36 in the morning.
But that's racism. You didn't let her get enough sleep. She needs her beauty sleep because she's a queen.
The train is in motion, and we know now it is also speeding up. And then at some point, there's one big jolt, which seems then to shake the driver back into attention, and then she reacts. But until that jolt happens, she's basically just kind of nodding off and just step after step, not really knowing what's going on. All right, I want to walk you over to this other piece of video because I want to show you what's happening.
And you try to take this job away from her, she'll pull racism. Not that she fell asleep. Oh no. Oh no. Just like the trashy 911 operators. Ain't nobody got time for this. What do you mean? This is your job to take 911 calls. But her nails were done, her hair was done, her lashes were done. And then when you say, look, we're seeing too much of this stuff, we don't want to hire black women. You racist pigs! We're gonna loot stores! We're gonna riot! You're not gonna tell us we can't do something!
Happening for the passengers during all of this. This was happening at the same time. You can see the passengers here. They're getting jolted after this driver hits this curve. It's going about 50 miles an hour. It was speeding up until that point, and that is really what is happening. The driver tried to correct. The passengers are jostled around.
And what's she gonna say? It was all white people in there complaining? This ain't white. This ain't white. This ain't white. Don't know what that is. So you can't pull it was just white people that were affected in there. And they're claiming racism. No, racism is what got that dopey bitch hired in the first place. Because that's all they do. You're racist. You're racist. You're racist. No. You're a fuck up and you shouldn't have this job.
And they're really shaken up. They jostled around a couple of times. The driver actually comes out. This is it again, so you can see how hard that impact is. The driver actually tells them to relax, assures them that the train did not crash, and then goes as far to tell them that it was a mechanical problem. You can actually hear her on the video saying the emergency brake didn't work. So lots
of course, to cover her own ass, but there's a camera on her seeing her fall asleep. But she deserves to have a job? How does she deserve to have her job after this bullshit? Oh, this is Brooklyn Lady Ellie being racist again. That's how delusional you motherfuckers are, because it's not about race. She fell asleep. She brought race into it. Later on, saying that the system used to drive the train was racist.
Reaction to this video tonight. KTV's Christian Captain joins us live with the story. Christian, a pretty incredible video to watch.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Passengers at the time described how frightening that whole incident was. Now we can see for ourselves. Video from the morning of September 24th shows the moments an inbound N-Judah train came barreling out of the Sunset Tunnel near DuBose Park at 50 miles per hour. Another angle shows the operator apparently asleep in the moments leading up to the...
This bitch had to get slammed into here. Her head hit here, and that's when she realized what was going on. But it's racism to call her out on it. It's racism to take her job away. Let's watch this again.
Out of the Sunset Tunnel near DuBose Park at 50 miles per hour. Another angle shows the operator.
She got slammed. That's why she woke up. If she didn't get slammed, it would have still been going on. Now, I have a bunch of assholes in this sector telling me I'm racist. Even with the kids who bet up, raped, and left a little girl for dead. One of the assailants was in court, and they're not white. But I'm racist for saying I was told chances are the kids who did that to that little girl were black. Oh, she's racist. It was seen. They were white. That little girl in court was not white. Knock your fucking shit off. Don't hire these doofuses just because they're black and they'll scream racism. This happens. Drug test her immediately. She doesn't want to take a drug test, fire her fucking ass. And then anytime she puts down this job as like a reference, tell them the truth. Show them this video. She fell asleep while driving the train. People got thrown from side to side. She blamed a mechanical failure, and then she blamed racism.
Apparently asleep in the moments leading up to the incident, slamming her hand on the emergency brake. As the train came to a halt, the operator telling passengers the brake wouldn't stop the train.
Stop! I'm sorry. Relax, 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 relax. We didn't crash. Relax. Relax. It wouldn't stop. Relax. We're okay.
Now, more than a month after the incident, Muni has said it has completed its investigation, which confirms error as a result of operator fatigue. The agency is addressing the matter in accordance with internal protocols and the relevant contract, which included placing the operator on non-driving status. Muni said an inspection showed the train was in proper working order and that the agency is reinforcing the importance for operators.
Proper working order. The bitch fell asleep.
To watch for signs of fatigue. Passengers who've seen the video say it's alarming.
It's pretty terrifying, yeah. I guess you know that things like that can happen, but thankfully they're really rare.
I don't feel any less safe riding the Muni having seen this than I did already. You know, and I feel that this city still has one of the best public transportation networks that I've ever seen.
Leadership from the Transport Workers Union Local 250A, who represent the drivers, say safety is always a top priority for all operators.
We deal with a very complex city, you know, and I think that we do very well, you know, and like I say, we are constantly to do better. You know, the union is about perfection.
And Muni said it is working with a train manufacturer to work to put systems in place to make sure incidents like this don't occur in the future.
How, excuse me, how do you put anything in place to make sure this doesn't happen in the future? She fell asleep, so she was comfortable enough. What are you going to do? Put a bed in there for the next driver? Fire that bitch. And put something on her record that when future employers go to hire her, they see exactly what she fucking did.
In San Francisco, Christian Cafton, KTVU, Fox 2 News.
And Christian, have we learned anything about the hours that this driver worked? I mean, in some parts of the video, you could see her actually put her head down, you know, before the train was actually in motion, seemingly looking exhausted at 8:30 in the morning. I don't know if there are rules in place for how many hours they can work or anything like that, but certainly it makes you think about that.
Yeah, so from what we understand, that driver hadn't been called in to work extra shifts or mandatory overtime, anything like that. It may have been 60 hours over the previous 2 weeks or so. That's the number that I've heard before. But clearly that driver does appear to be slumped over the wheel at one point in time, very early in the video that we received. And then later on, you can see as she...
What does that mean for the slow people in the back? She wasn't overworked. But still, looking for reasons to excuse what she did.
Enters that tunnel, she appears to lean back, her head goes down, and she certainly, by all appearances, seems to be asleep before that train hits that first curve and she gets that initial jolt. That's when you see her reach out for the controls, hit a button that she refers to later on in the video as the mushroom, which is like an emergency brake, and tries to bring that train to a halt as quickly as possible.
Yeah, certainly looked exhausted. All right, Christian Cafton, that video does give us pause. Thank you so much for that report.
Still looking for an excuse. There is no excuse for that. Oh, well, she's human. She fell asleep. And if she was white? No. She later on turned around and blamed racism for it. It's enough. Stop giving incompetent buffoons jobs just because they're black. I don't care if the train I'm on, the operator's black, white, Indian, Asian. I don't care. I care that they can stay awake and do the job. It's unbelievable.